Okay, so here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually made something? And I don't mean made as in prompted a machine to generate it. I mean, when was the last time you started with a blank page and felt that specific, itchy panic of not knowing what comes next? Welcome to 2026. If you're like most people listening to this, your day is probably a series of high-stakes rituals involving one specific action. Clicking approve. You click approve on an email your AI drafted for you. You click approve on a slide deck your agentic workspace built based on your notes. You even click approve on a grocery list that was optimized for your current cortisol levels. We've entered the era of the validation bot. We aren't the quality assurance department for a life that's being lived on our behalf. Think about that split second of micro-grief when you hit auto-enhance on a family photo. You watch the AI smooth out the wrinkles, fix the lighting, and erase the ugly shadows. It looks perfect now, right? But something's gone. Those unique imperfections were the actual memory. By clicking approve, you've just traded a piece of your reality for a polished hallucination. This is the choice vacuum. It's that eerie feeling that you're drifting through your own life as a passenger, merely witnessing your choices instead of making them. If every choice is suggested and you just say yes, are you still the author of your own story? Or are you just the ghost in the machine? Let's talk about why this is happening and why it's way more dangerous than just being lazy. To understand this, we have to go way back to the noisy, soot-covered factories of 1844. So, picture this, 19th century London. It's dirty, it's loud, and Karl Marx is watching workers in a boot factory. He notices something weird. Before the Industrial Revolution, a cobbler made a whole shoe. They saw the leather, they cut it, they stitched it, they owned the process. But in the factory, one guy just punches a single hole in the leather. All day, every day. Marx called this alienation and fremdung. He argued that when you're disconnected from the final product of your labor, you aren't just bored. You're losing your humanity. The object you're making starts to feel like a stranger to you. It's a tool that owns you rather than you owning it. Fast forward to today, we think we've escaped the factory, but we've just moved it into our pockets. When you use a smart reply to tell your mom you love her, you're basically that factory worker punching one hole in the leather. You didn't craft the sentiment. You just authorized it. You've become alienated from your own relationships. Marx said, the worker puts his life into the object, but now his life no longer belongs to him but to the object. Sound familiar? Every time you accept an AI's perfect suggestion, you are pouring your unique data into a system that eventually makes your own unique taste feel like an unnecessary error. We're being demoted to human in the loop. That sounds fancy, right? Like you're a pilot. But in reality, you're just a cog in a high-tech assembly line of outputs. You're the witness to a machine that is doing the actual living for you. But here's the kicker. Marx was mostly worried about our bodies and our stuff. He didn't see the next part coming. He didn't realize the machine would eventually come for the very friction of our minds. Enter Gilbert Simondon. He's the philosopher you probably haven't heard of, but he's about to ruin your afternoon in a good way. Simondon argued that humans aren't static beings. We are a process. He called this individuation. Basically, you aren't a finished product. You are the act of becoming. And how do you become? Through friction? Through the struggle of making choices, failing, and figuring it out. Simondon said the human is no longer the actor of the work, but the witness and the organizer of the technical system. He saw this coming in 1958. Here is the mind-blowing part. Humanity isn't what happens after the work is done. Humanity is the work. It's the struggle of choosing. When we use AI to remove that struggle, to make everything frictionless, we aren't saving time to be human. We are deleting the very thing that makes us human in the first place. Think about it. If you never have to struggle to find the right word, or the right gift, or the right career path, you're losing the muscle memory of your own soul. You're becoming a validation bot for the QA department of your soul. Pause for 15 seconds. Let the weight of the word deletion settle. It's a terrifying form of intellectual vertigo. You look at your perfect calendar, your perfect resume, and your perfect social media feed, and you realize, I didn't actually do any of this. I just clicked yes. You've outsourced the very choices that make a life meaningful. We think we're being efficient, but efficiency is a value for machines, not for people. For a machine, the goal is the result. For a human, the goal is the individuation, the change that happens to you while you're trying to get the result. When you skip the struggle, you skip the person you were supposed to become.
Okay, so we're cogs. We're alienated. We're deleting ourselves. Great.
Now what? How do we stop being validation bots without throwing our phones into the ocean? We need to reclaim the friction, and I've got 3 philosophical hacks for you to start doing today. First, the draft 0 rule: never ever let the AI start. I don't care if you're writing an email or a screenplay. Write the first 10 words yourself. Write the messy, ugly, grammatically incorrect version first. Get your hands dirty with the draft 0. Only after you've established a human anchor should you let the tools help you expand. Don't let the machine set the tone. You set the soul. Second, the ugly choice mandate. Once a week, look at a list of recommendations, Spotify, Netflix, DoorDash, whatever, and deliberately pick the 10th one. Pick the one the algorithm thinks you'll hate, the one that says 0% match. Why? Because breaking the prediction loop is an act of rebellion. It's how you remind the system and yourself that you aren't a predictable set of data points. You're a chaotic, evolving human who can choose to eat terrible spicy noodles or watch a weird 1970s documentary just because you felt like it. Third, analog anchoring. Spend 20 minutes a day on a task where undo is impossible. Use a fountain pen on paper. Cook a meal without a digital scale. Sketch something in ink. There's a profound psychological weight to actions that can't be reversed with a Control-Z. It reconnects you with the physical reality of cause and effect. It reminds you that your choices have weight. These aren't just hobbies, they are acts of resistance against the choice vacuum. They are how you build back the muscle memory of being the author of your own life. Look, I get it. Efficiency is seductive. We're all busy. We're all tired, and having a personal assistant in our pocket that can optimize our lives feels like a miracle. But we have to remember, efficiency is for corporations. Friction is for humans. A perfectly optimized life is a life where nothing unexpected ever happens, which is just another way of saying it's a life where nothing real ever happens. This is my 2026 manifesto for you. Protect your struggle.
Guard your friction like it's your most valuable possession, because it is. Take the long way home once in a while. Send a text with typos because you were too excited to care about the smart reply. Be beautifully, intentionally unoptimized, because here's the truth. When you look back at your life in 30 years, you aren't going to cherish the perfectly generated outputs. You aren't going to remember the emails that were 100% efficient.
You're going to remember the things you chose when the algorithm told you to choose something else. Don't be a witness to your own existence. Don't be the person who just clicked approve until the timer ran out. Reclaim the struggle, reclaim the friction. Because that's where you, the real, unoptimized, you actually exists. So, what's one inefficient thing you're going to do today? Go do it? I'll see you in the friction.